Hello, everyone. My name is Kira, and I'll be your host for tonight's first ever Oracle Gaming podcast. So, with signups available for Oracle 6 Overwatch tournament, and the actual tournament is only a few weeks away, we want to take an opportunity to really give our casters some time to shine. Because during each of our tournaments, our casters are working hard at bringing you all the action as it's happening, but that doesn't really leave a lot of time for you guys to get to know them. So, tonight, we're going to be talking to a few of them, getting their opinions on various gaming, streaming topics, and during the podcast, we'll be taking questions from our viewers as well. So, if you're watching, if anything comes to mind, feel free to ask in the chat, and we'll also be having a special announcement during the podcast, so keep your ears peeled. Now, without further ado, it's time to introduce our first guest tonight. Hailing from Canada, known for casting in multiple leagues, as well as streaming Overwatch, Among Us, Valorant, Star Wars Battlefront, and so much more, Twitch affiliate Ziggy Flybone 3.
Hey guys, thanks for having me, Kira.
Next up, getting his start making content for YouTube and now making his way on Twitch, our next guest is one of our newer casters, but we know you'll love him all the same, Mr. Cinnamon Biscuit.
Hello, everyone. Glad to be here.
Sorry. Our next guest is a representative from Europe, known for streaming Overwatch, Fallout 4, Dead by Daylight, Among Us, and various other games. Another newer caster. Give it up for Twitch affiliate Reindeer.
Hello.
Our fourth guest is our longest running caster for Oracle, streaming his own content on YouTube. He streams Overwatch, Resident Evil, Uncharted, you name it, he's got it. Give him a break to drink from his water bottle. It's our caster.
I really wish I would have known what you were gonna say.
Why is that?
You missed an opportunity to say always the brightest.
Alright. And last but not least, our last caster would be Twitch affiliate Big Sam. Say hello, Sam. Or don't. You're muted.
He's
Hello,
muted.
Sam.
5 minutes in, we're already
As we know,
technical
Sam
difficulties.
lives in Mongolia, so his internet is a bit slow. So it'll be arriving shortly in about 3 hours. He'll be here, so don't worry, guys.
Yeah, he's like the internet explorer of the group.
Oh, Jesus. Alright, well. My first question actually was for Sam, so I want to make sure he's there before I ask him.
Yo, Sam, you here, buddy?
Alright, wow.
Yes.
And he left.
Now this is a poggers way to start a podcast.
You know
Not
what?
scuffed, chat. Not scuffed at all.
Here's
So
what
you
I'm
just
gonna
go to the
do.
next
Here's what
question?
I'm gonna do. Bam! Now we have Fox Gamer. Poof. Until Sam comes back.
People,
again. So
Hi. He's back.
Oh, he's back? Alright, never mind. Sorry. Hey, thank
Sam?
you for the sub! You rock, mouse! Alright, well, Sam, are you with us this time? Or are you just gonna lurk?
Pause, champ.
Oof. Biggest of oofs. First question is, with the launch of PS5 in just a few weeks, many players are about to upgrade from PS4 over to PS5. So for a lot of players, it's going to raise concerns. Like, will Overwatch be available for PS5 at launch? Will Blizzard have separate servers for PS5 and PS4? Because a lot of companies did that for PS3 when PS4 launched. And overall, what could this mean for players transitioning?
I don't think the game's going to be available on launch at all, but I know that Call of Duty is going to be backwards compatible and cross-generation compatible, whatever it's called. So I'm assuming that PS4 can play with PS5, but I don't think it'll be available on time. I don't think it'll be coming out till next year. That's my guess.
In that sense, Reindeer is right. Yes, any cross-platform game like Fortnite or Warzone right now you'll still be able to play. But as far as we know, we don't know if you'll be able to have that cross-generation. So
I think my whole thing with that was I had seen before when they talked about Overwatch 2 that Overwatch 1 and Overwatch 2 servers would be the same. So you would think the game at least has to go on PS5 if it's still going to be true to their word. But if it still could be separate, like a PS5 server and a PS4 server. But that
Yeah,
also
but
that'll be the same for the Xbox people as well.
I believe Overwatch 2 has been delayed until like next year. So
Mm.
you might have to wait on like that kind of stuff to like come into fruition, you know?
That's
Yeah,
very true.
or we will not be seeing Overwatch 2 this fall, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been pushed back, but I think with the release of the PS5, there'll definitely be a lot of attention and eyes on that. So going forward, not too sure what it's gonna look like kind of for that next gen sort of console. Like we're gonna see titles such as Cyberpunk and other titles in the future that are gonna be releasing on the next gen platform. So I think I'm excited for those titles, and Overwatch 2 is one of them. Now that we know it's being pushed back, so yeah, there's a lot of things that are happening. Hopefully next year.
Well, speaking of Overwatch 2, this actually was my second topic. If you guys want to jump right into there, because I mean, we really haven't heard what's it been like 10 months since we heard any last news about Overwatch 2. I mean, most of that's been due to the
Yeah.
pandemic, but well, I know Blizzard said that they were going to have a virtual BlizzCon this year, and it's going to be I think February 19th and 20th in 2021. So if that's true, obviously it's definitely been pushed back because it was supposed to be I think holiday 2020. So we're probably hopefully I would think see some kind of news about Overwatch 2, hopefully a date during that BlizzCon. Um, and Reindeer, actually, I'm gonna start this question for you. But with that said, um, what kind of information would you like to hear if they do announce something at BlizzCon?
Honestly, just a concrete release date. Even like if it has to be delayed, it's not the end of the world. So like I think it was May 2016 when the first one came out. So if it's May 2021, that's fine. But Overwatch is
God,
my
I was
first
16 years
Blizzard
old. Oh
game.
my god.
So I've never really watched BlizzCons in the past, mainly just for the World Cup for Overwatch, but just a release date or saying, hey, we had to push the game back because of COVID. That's about it for me.
Well, I was also gonna say with the game, the last thing that we had seen about it, right, was they announced that push and pull thing for comp, and they had what was it, Rio de Janeiro was the test map that they had used to show the PvE.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
With that, I mean, besides like new designs, which I heard, correct me if I'm wrong, I heard that they're doing one for every single hero that's currently out. They're going to redesign. But besides that, like, what are you guys looking forward to seeing? Maps, new heroes? Like, what's most interesting to you
Arcaster, you
guys?
want to start that off? What are you most excited about for Overwatch 2?
Me?
Yeah.
Okay. What I'm most excited about for Overwatch 2 is when the game drops in value over the summer. I don't have a job during the school, so I can't physically get it. So once it drops in value, it's gonna be a nice old steal for me, and I'm gonna get it for like half off. So that's all I'm
Yoinkers.
excited about.
I'll add on to that. So I will say, what I'm most excited about for Overwatch 2 is the new push-pull game mode, or push, I guess they call it. That is definitely going to really spice up the competitive scene. We got our, we got our Koth, we got our King of the Hill, our control point, our. I just said the same thing 3 different times. We got our hybrid payload, and 2CP. So these are our core game modes that we have right now. But looks like Overwatch, and especially the league going forward, is going to be shifting to this model that is the push game mode. And if you guys have seen footage of this from multiple streamers like XUC, a lot of other streamers like Calvin were there as well at the other BlizzCon, you will see that this game mode actually has a lot of competitive potential. And this is what I'm most excited about. There's going to be new map designs for it, lots of different high ground. Again, we have those new heroes like Sojourn that will be coming out on release. So really, really excited to see what that has to offer for the competitive aspect of the game, because that game mode is definitely interesting and will probably have a totally different meta. Yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to for Overwatch 2.
Now, besides the push and pull, a lot of people for a while were trying to say capture flag would be one, which I can't see that working in a normal competitive setting. But like, is there anything that you guys can think of that maybe other games do that might work for Overwatch 2? If they did decide to implement some other kind of game mode?
That's a good question. Reindeer, go ahead.
It is a good question.
I'm trying to think of other games that I play that have similar game modes. Overwatch is only.
Bomb? Rainbow Six Siege's bomb game mode would be interesting, like a
Um,
CS:GO kind of aspect with
I
the
think you'd have
sight.
to make it like a longer game mode. It couldn't just be like
Yeah.
one death. That'd be
Yeah, exactly.
well,
Like
I played a
13
lot of
rounds.
I played a lot of Rogue Company, and one of the things that I really really do enjoy is their kind of like what's it called? You have to contest like a hard point, like you would in Overwatch, but their hard point is you can either take control and hold it for a certain amount of time, and then you straight up win, or you can eliminate every other enemy on the other side a certain amount of times. Like each team has a certain amount of lives they can go through, and once it comes down to their final lives, that's it. And if you end up losing all your lives, you lose. So I think that could be an interesting kind of thing where it's like a team has a certain amount of lives, and they have to just contest an objective. That could be a pretty interesting one they can maybe try out.
Well,
Interesting.
with going into comp there, we do have, like I was saying before, with season 6 starting. You know, comp has been such a weird mess lately. With they've got now open queue, roll queue. Neither one seems to be really that great for the community. But I mean, they've been adding all these balance changes lately. What do you guys think about like the current place, like the Blizzards in Overwatches in, and what kind of metas would you expect to see in season 6? Caster, I'll throw that one to you.
I think the game right now is in a great spot, as almost everything is viable as long as you play it correctly. Like whatever the meta is, I'm not specifically sure on what the current meta is, but let's say it doesn't have a soldier. If you're good enough at soldier, you can still play a soldier even at the higher ranks, because everything is close enough to work. And you might be able to throw a disruptor comp in there. You might be able to throw a bunker comp, a Ryan Zarya, a dive. And even though you might be worse as a team, you might be able to run the better comp to beat the enemy team, which is one of the best things about Overwatch. You don't have to be the better team to win the game. And my phone just fell down. It took a bit, but I finally had a technical difficulty. I'm gonna throw
It's
this
alright,
to
it seems like this whole thing is
someone
big.
pick
No,
it
you
up.
can't grab onto his phone because of the 5 pairs of gloves
The
that he's
Scuffed
wearing.
Podcast.
It is.
Good
I am so
podcast.
sorry. I had this all set up. We can all blame Big Sam, who I told 3 times, "Hey, buddy, if you're gonna lag out, warn me, so I don't have
Okay,
to
we're
fix this
back.
live stream." But
We're back.
you were saying we were
Okay.
talking about
What was I
metas.
saying?
We were talking about metas and currently
Oh
with all the
yes.
balance changes.
Yes. You can basically play anything you want as long as you can very quickly swap between different compositions, and you don't have to be the better team. You just have to know the game better, which is a huge way for new players to pick up, for people to just have years and years of TF2 experience or CS:GO experience. They have the initial advantage, but once you learn the game, if you take the time, you can be at that GM level without the top 500 or GM level skill that you need, like people would need in that. Like you don't have to have a Widow aim, just headshot every time. You could have a Reinhardt game sense where you are able to outplay the other Reinhardt through knowing their baits and then being able to counter shatter them. So very balanced at the moment. I'd like to see what the new balance changes would bring, see if they can get that even more balanced. So overall, looking pretty good, I'd say.
Yeah, when you go into those kind of mechanics, especially into a Mind of a Reinhardt, you're bouncing everywhere between so many different thought processes. But just going off of what Arcaster said there, definitely in a good spot right now. Overwatch is fun to play. I think Overwatch has a lot of life in it right now, despite its lack of media attention. I think a lot of the downward slope began once Blizzard made the decision, or I don't even know if it's a decision, but when Google offered them that massive amount of money to switch platforms onto YouTube, we saw a detriment, plummet in viewership. And that's what really, really cost it, especially for the highest competitive scene in the entire game, right? A league that is worth billions and billions of dollars, and has so much money put into it, just completely lose over 50% of their viewership. So, that's where I kind of stopped, following Overwatch. And now I've sort of gotten back into it here and there. Been playing a few games, enjoying the meta, watching other streamers play it. And just so far of looking at people's perceptions and seeing the clips that are happening, it looks like a healthy game so far. At least on PC is where I'm playing. So yeah, I would agree with Arcaster on that. And looking forward, I think the biggest issue that they did have, which with I guess you could say they fixed with open queue, was the role queue and the pick and the banning of the different heroes each week, which was horrendous. I think that was one of their worst decisions ever. Um, the game needs to come from the players, right? Yeah, we understand that the devs have a vision they want to put forward, but that's been already put forward with I think the entire roster of heroes now, I think for Overwatch, is filled. I don't think they're developing any other new heroes for the actual Overwatch roster. I'm not too sure on that, but I think their vision is filled right now with the base game of Overwatch, and moving into their focus is now on Overwatch 2. But right now, game is healthy, and I'm having fun playing it. So
One thing I do want to add, though, I believe that the heroes that are going into Overwatch 2, the new ones, I don't know how many they said they were going to have, but I heard they were going to be available for the base game Overwatch as well, if I'm not
oh, okay.
mistaken.
Yes, I do remember hearing that. To be honest, I think I could be wrong here, but I believe the number I remember them saying was at the launch of Overwatch 2, you'd be able to get all the skins except for the brand new like remade ones specifically for Overwatch 2, and that there'd be 6 heroes available on launch that were new. And I'll be honest, with how they've had hero launches in the past, 6 all at once, I'm terrified for the mess that we'll make for comp. I, I mean, the only one we've.
That's gonna be a big day
Oh, I
when
know
all
that's
those
gonna be
heroes are
insane.
released. Yeah.
Pray there's no more Briggs. Although I did hear, this is another rumor I heard, that they said they no longer want to make shield heroes. They said
Mhm.
that for tanks, they want to find a new balance where they're taking the damage like a tank should, but they want to get rid of the shield aspect of the game. But I find that that's sometimes the most appealing. I mean, it
I
sucks to be Ryan, but
personally, I find there's too many heroes in the game that are given such an impactful tool. I'll give you an example real quick. I'll just run this by you. Let's look at Ana's biotic grenade. You land an anti, a team's dead in a high level of play. If you land a good anti, your team is gonna follow up 100%. That team is wiped. Um, Tools like this, and you look at Mercy's kit, right? What kind of impactful tool does Mercy have that would have the same effect as Ana's biotic grenade? That
they
there
argue
just
res, but
isn't,
there isn't.
right?
Yeah.
There isn't, right? Besides the res, and that's a big thing. But you're looking at such impactful things that these heroes have, and like we were talking earlier about the balance of the game, and the devs have to find that kind of balance. You know, it's gonna be interesting. We'll have to keep our eye on the horizon.
We
Oh,
will.
among those hero changes, there's another one that I've heard. I want to get your opinion on it before we possibly go to another conversation. But I heard they're making Roadhog into a DPS and Mei into a tank. And I'm not just talking about the blame the controller going over it. I mean,
That would be
what would you guys
interesting.
think? they the cover, I think for May, I think I saw blaming the controller's version, and he was saying basically make the wall more of a shield type thing, or make the cooldowns different so it felt
I
more
would
like a
just
shield.
boost up her HP pool. Mei is too squishy right now to be a tank, so
That's
she's
true.
got to have more HP.
Well, before we move on, did any of you guys have any other opinions on the current state of Overwatch? What kind of things you'd like to see in Season 6 or the meta?
Honestly, the meta's just in like a
Yeah.
perfect place. No one is busted.
Yeah.
There might be a few people that feel unplayable. Sorry, Lucio, but like the game's in a great spot, and I don't think it needs much changing right now.
Yeah. I do like that soldier change that might go through, because I hate RNG spread, but at the same time it does feel kind of busted.
I think the soldier spread just makes good players better. So
Yeah, I was watching a little bit of
Sorry,
the
well,
soldier
Sam
play
was
for that.
gonna. Yeah, Sam was gonna say something. Sorry, go ahead.
I said I just want to play Dive again.
True.
Some people have been talking about how with the current like balances, it makes it so that you do feel like you can play all the different tanks. So like you should still be able to play like on Nubani and maybe like having a moment here, cannot remember the name of this map, Gibraltar. You should still be able to run Monkey Diva, especially with how they're balanced right now. I mean, Diva hasn't been that great in the last few months, but I believe she's in a good place right now, right?
yeah, I've been playing dive and scrims.
You know-
It's still playable.
You know what? I'm kind of looking forward to the PS5 controller with the new like adaptive triggers. I want to see how they react, like the reaction time of doing a trigger versus the ability happening on screen. I'm interested to see how that's gonna
Yeah,
happen.
controller lag is huge. Like I think that's one of the biggest, like things right now for controller players, is having that controller lag, because you know I had to recently get a different controller for my PlayStation, like the next gen one, which has the light up at the touchpad, because the older generation one was just not connecting with the new software update. It was just like
Right.
there'd be so much input delay. So especially as like a super millisecond reaction game that Overwatch is, you need to have those reactions like that, right? So it's super important that does get fixed in the new console generation. But going back on the topic here, what Kira said with any kind of changes going into competitive stuff, I did mention it earlier, but I will harp on it again, and that is the fact that the hero pool system needs to be a pick and ban, and it needs to be a pick and ban because the player needs to decide what games they want to get into.
Agreed.
You know, if you've played Rainbow Six Siege, you know that before a match even starts, you get to pick and ban an attacker and a defender on both sides. So this is something I think that's very important, especially going into Overwatch 2 when we're upping the roster. There's going to be way more heroes involved, and it gives the devs direct feedback from the community. Hey, look, this hero's not working. We've been banning it constantly. So that's my take going forward to Overwatch 2 and what changes absolutely need to be made going forward.
Well, I'd say with a bunch of the new changes, if Blizzard does change it to like they have their, I think it was developers' vision of the game, and they've said multiple times they heavily want to put that in. If they do put that in, they might lose the essence of the game. Like a lot of people got into the game for the you can swap heroes mid game, you can change up your style at any point in the game. And if they change that too much or they make like the hero bans, that was a horrible decision because they take out Reinhardt, Zarya, and Winston. Now you're basically forced to play Orisa Hog or Orisa Sigma. And that's one comp, and that's not okay. I can't swap to another comp to change that. Like I can't try and dive it, or I can't do Hammond, Winston to try and disorient them. I have to play this one comp, and it's going to be down to skill. When the main draw of Overwatch is you don't have to be skilled, you just have to be the smartest. And anyone can be smart in Overwatch. So
Yeah, skill is definitely a big part of it, though. I feel, and like you mentioned, with going forward, having Blizzard, the company, they can just randomly pick those 3 heroes or 4 heroes that are going to be banned for the week. It's like, all right, what is going on? Giving this opportunity to let the players decide which heroes are banned before the game is gonna definitely benefit the meta, in a sense that if this is broken, they're gonna stop it. They're gonna ban the heroes that are making it broken, right? Um, I feel that in the higher levels of play, though, it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out, because it's another layer of strategy. I've seen a lot of pros talk about it. They hated the pick and ban system, right? You gotta understand that they have no choice in the matter. Yeah, it spices it up and changes the meta every week, but at the same time, do you know how hard these coaches like Krusty and other coaches like Harsha are working so hard every week to change it? It changes a new meta every week. They have to work so hard, and that's what I just don't like about watching Overwatch League, is because it has this RNG aspect to it, and nothing competitive should have any RNG aspects.
I think it's that whole idea of like what Arcast was saying was about how they didn't want to get away from that idea of the spontaneousness of Overwatch, but it just doesn't work though. And I think they've proven that time and time again that you can't have a game where you play spontaneous like that unless it's like quick play. When it comes down to the comp and Overwatch League, there are certain strategies that are always going to be better, that are always going to work better for certain players and for certain things, and you'll be expected to play certain compositions on certain maps in certain ways. And I think the sooner that Blizzard kind of accepts that that might be the case and starts kind of pushing Overwatch in that direction, might be the time that comp gets better. But like Arcast is saying, that might just kind of feel like it's a brand new game in a sense, or a different game. I did see a viewer question, and actually, while I'm answering this, if any of you guys want to ask questions, feel free as long as they're appropriate. Hey, thank you
I,
for the
d-
follow.
I do
Um,
want to ask something.
sure, go ahead before I answer.
Okay, talking about Overwatch 2, and you said possibility of 6 new heroes in the game, correct?
Yes, that's what I heard.
Okay, this is a hype. Okay, this is gonna be a hypothetical, and and I'll go either DPS, tank, or support for this. What new ability would you like to see added to the game? Out of the 6 heroes, regardless if it's DPS, tank, or support, projectile, hit scan, main, or off.
What type of hero, or like what kind of, like if I made one up?
Like, if you had to pick like a new ability that they're gonna add to the game, what
Okay,
would you
new
like to
ability.
see added?
Well, let's just get this out of the way. Not a fucking stun, okay?
Yeah, not a
No-
stun,
No
not a
more
stun.
stun.
Not a stun.
Honestly, I kind of like this idea. It's like a special shot that they do. It's on cooldown. Let's say they have like a semi-auto kind of rifle that deals a good amount of damage. Well, what I think would be a good idea is if an ability just you aim it, it's a skill shot, and you can line up a bunch of targets, and it's like a kind of like a railgun where it pierces through whoever's in front of that bullet, and it does a little bit less damage than your normal shot, but it has a piercing effect.
An ability I had seen somebody talk about before, I don't know if it was Reddit or YouTube or what, but it was like it would work one of two ways. It either was like kind of like Splatoon, where you have the paint that lands on the ground, and it would either cause a slowdown effect or it would cause a poison. Well, I feel like that'd be a little overpowered, but I think a slowdown effect might be interesting. Can you imagine they're about to push through a choke and you use an ultimate where you cover like an area kind of like Torb's ult. I was about to say some words. Torb's
Yeah.
ult, but instead of hurting you, it just slows you down just a little bit. Like that could really mess a team's push up. I think that'd be
Going
interesting.
actually, can I add on to that? I was
Yeah.
actually thinking, because you see really really cool heroes that have awesome movement abilities like Tracer, Sombra, Pharah. a hero that could alter time would be interesting. Like, yes, Tracer can alter her own time, but like you said, a hero that can either throw a time bomb and they all go slow, or can actually rewind the clock or something like that. That would be pretty interesting
Oh,
to see.
that reminds me of like Atlas from Paladins, where it's
Oh
like a skill
yeah,
shot, and it hits a player. It's an ultimate, hits the player, and it rewinds them back like
yes,
3 seconds.
yeah. I've seen that before. The kind of like the frontline player, whatever his class is, right? Frontline,
Yeah,
I think.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. He's a frontline.
There's actually, I think it was also Paladins where she shuts the lights off and it makes the entire screen black for a couple seconds.
Oh yeah,
Oh, dude, that would
blinding
mess.
effect.
That would be interesting in Overwatch, but I feel like that would be just so weird because it'd just be like 3 seconds of not playing the game. So kind of worse than a stun. I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know how that one would work.
Um. Yeah. Well, if you think of a team fight, team pushing in, intel is pretty important. So, where a team is, usually you've seen, Sombra's go and scout out even before, right? But what if you could eliminate that process by having a hero that has a scout ability? Like, you see Hanzo's scan dart or something like that. Like, what if it was something a little different, like a drone or something like that?
They had that in
There's different
Valorant,
things that
right?
they could combine. Yeah, they have that in
Yeah,
Valorant with
Killjoy.
Sova.
Oh,
Yeah,
Sova. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, Sova's a owl drone, and I feel like that there's a couple other things that could cover your flank a bit easier, like um, but Overwatch is so fast paced that intel kind of just flies over your head sometimes, right?
Mm.
Um, so that kind of slow methodical process might not be right for the game. Actually, the more that I think about it, but going forward, I'm actually excited to see kind of what the new heroes are gonna have. So.
Definitely. Um, did any of you guys want to continue to elaborate?
Yeah. Yeah, I think a cool ability would be if a hero's either ultimate or ability that was on a long cooldown, or that ability would be like 5 seconds, is if you did an like a set attack that would force that person, like any shot they took half of that damage, even if it misses. So it's like Soldier does 19 damage, I think. He would take 10 hits of damage for every bullet he shot in a certain time frame. And if there's like a damage boost or a nano boost on that, it would come back to him. So he's getting damage boosted nano. You put that on him, he does tack. He's dead in like 5 shots from himself. It like starts to nullify. Like if they know it's gonna be one person trying to get that push, like that they're relying everything on, they could put that onto the soldier who's gonna try and go in and like wipe the team with that one ult or with the two ults and just try and get it all on the soldier. They can nullify that for like 5-10 seconds, which would start to really like they need to have multiple angles of attack. Like a Reinhardt coming in on the right trying to hit a shatter, and the soldier coming in on the left with the damage boost, the nano, and the tag value. So it kind of force the team to play more ults into one fight for a bit more
Yeah.
team engagement.
I think if you look at a fan of gaming or anybody who plays video games, of an outsider looking into Overwatch, you look at Overwatch and you think, okay, press a button, impact, right?
Not Mercy.
That's what Overwatch is, right? You look at Zarya, press a button, graviton, impact, right? Like yeah, you have to watch out for the defense matrix and other stuff, but like there are some heroes where you press a button and there's impact. And I think they need to eliminate that a little bit more and then raise the skill ceiling. Because right now, I feel like professionals are, you've seen so many people retire or flip completely to a different game. And I think a result of that is they've mastered their hero. They've mastered their heroes, a little bit harder for DPS players. But, they've mastered lots and lots of heroes enough to the point where they don't have to do much work anymore but learn new metas every week, right?
Mm.
And I feel like they could raise the skill ceiling with more interactive and intuitive skills and abilities that heroes can have.
Blizzard hasn't done enough to the game. Yeah, that's where I was gonna go with that. Blizzard hasn't done enough with the game as over the last at least 2 years. So the game just kind of has gotten stale. Like you said, they haven't raised the ceiling. They haven't added enough complexity to the game to make it feel new or different in any way. It's just every time you log in, you know that that is the same game that you left 6 months ago. You know, and I
Yep.
think
I
that's
I think the biggest thing they've added to the game are the maps. I'm serious.
and
The
the
biggest
last
thing
map
they've added to game
was
are the maps.
what was it, Brazil or whatever for Storm Rising?
Busan?
No, not Busan. It's
Paris.
the one where you're in like the wine factory or
Havana.
whatever. Havana, thank you.
Yeah, Havana. Yeah.
Yeah,
Castillo.
yeah, Havana I think was the last one, and that was for Storm Rising, and
Yep. And they
that
haven't gotten a
was
map since.
so long ago. Yeah,
Yeah.
and then you still
I
got
want a Canadian
Paris
map.
and Horizon that aren't even in the here like the rotation because they had to fix
Speaking
them.
of map pools are different, right? Yeah, I understand that, but if they need to like sometimes refine some of them. Most of the maps are pretty balanced in my opinion. Some of them are kind of shit, too CP. But you know, we do have a lot of the devs have a lot of work ahead of them, especially like I mentioned with the new push pull game mode. That's gonna introduce a totally different kind of map design. So going forward, I think they need to really, really focus on and play test. They need to play test. They need to play test with those professional players and understand, like if they do not play test with pros before they release the game, it's going to be utter chaos. I think they really, really need to play test before they do anything.
Well, I did see somebody had asked when Oracle was starting, and I'm glad to inform you that we actually start on October 20th. So signups are actually right now. So if you guys do want to sign up, you can head over to our Discord, and the signups are in there. I believe there's a link in server information. But the signups end on the 16th, which is 2 weeks from Friday, on a Friday. So if you guys want,
Yeah.
I would recommend heading over there and making sure that you get your spot. But I asked, and then we got so distracted. Did anyone else have any questions? They don't have to be about Oracle. They could be two individual streamers, or casters, if you guys are interested.
I don't know, but what's this thing about this special announcement? I have no idea what this is.
Yeah.
Oh well, I'm
Yeah,
glad
Fox, get
that you asked. Let's
Fox.
hear it over the chat. Do you guys want to hear the new Oracle announcement? Because I know I'm hype about it.
Oracle's bankrupt?
Well, we'd have to have money to
Yo.
start with.
We have wait. We have more Fox stew.
Sam, with this fox stew. Jesus. Alright, well.
You only get more Fox Stew when I create more Fox Stew, and Fox is currently in here, so we might get some more.
Awesome. Awesome
Jesus.
job.
Alright, well.
The two chefs.
The announcement
Kill
is-
all of you.
I forgot he was in here.
That's fun. That's Fox right there, boys.
Okay, so the announcement
Alright.
is Oracle is going to be adding its second game that we're actually fully supporting. And that is going to be
Like you cut, G.
Among Us.
Yeah.
Alright, so
Hey, can I say one thing?
what? Before I go into details.
Mouse kind of suspect. Go ahead.
Alright, so we're going to be officially supporting Among Us, and we'll be adding a new role under the Welcome category in Roles channel, so you can go in there. We'll ask you what games you like to play and all that. There'll be a new one. You click Among Us. It's going to open up a whole new category for you guys to see, and it's going to have new channels for different games, and it'll have different voice rooms that hold up to 10 people. So you guys can have those great 10-player games. And we're also looking to do events for Among Us in the future. If you guys have any ideas or any things that you might want to see us do with Among Us, let me know. My DMs are open. Darkhere9653. But I want to get some info on the game. Maybe we can talk some strats and
Yes.
things. And Ziggy, I know that you stream Among Us. I've played with you. So what can you tell us about the game?
Well, let me tell you first, it was announced that Among Us 2 recently is being cancelled.
What?
People might think that is a bad thing, but this is a good thing. The devs have actually committed most of their time to fixing Among Us, the first one. And the thing is because, you look at sequels like Battlefront 2 or you look at sequels such as Overwatch 2, which is coming out, how many people are really going to spend $80 on another AAA, right? To just play the same game. So the thing is, what we're looking at now is the devs are putting so much time into new maps, new tasks, new strategies for imposters, and this game is just going to be incredible going for the future. It has so much for it. I hope you guys sign up or actually choose the role and are active in there. The game is free on mobile with ads on mobile, and it's only $5 on Steam. So I highly, highly recommend this game. It's super, super fun. I'm sure you've heard about it. If you haven't heard about it, get out from under your rock because this game is super fun. Trust me.
Oh, definitely. And
I
I
want.
feel like the game is the most fun when you're playing in voice chat. It's great to play with randoms. Don't get me wrong. I love it. But there's just something great about coming into a voice chat and saying Ziggy sus.
Yeah,
I
Ziggy
just
looking a
want
little
to.
sus, not gonna lie.
I want to see
Hold on,
on
let
the
me just vent
PS5.
real quick.
No lie.
What are you saying, Sam? I'm so sorry.
I want to see Among Us on a PlayStation 5.
You know, I don't think they've said anything about doing it for consoles. It probably would
It's
be an easy
not
port,
likely.
but not yeah.
It's not likely. Do you know why? Is because they want to put, like I said, they want to put these updates up sooner. If you know how updates work for video games, you'll know that you have to get approval first from those companies, Microsoft and Sony. You have to say, hey, we're doing an update, and you have to get that approval a month before the update even comes out. So the update's uploaded to Sony servers, it's ready to go, and then boom, it gets downloaded. So it's even gone and sent off by those companies, by Blizzard or by whoever's updating the game, a month even before it comes out. So the issue is, and this is why console does not have a test server. This is why they have the variation card or whatever, experimental card. That's what it is. Because on the test server they could just implement a patch like that, right? But that's what Among Us have to do, and that's why it's so easy to get approval from the app stores and from Steam just like that. They don't have to go through this really long process that it does take for consoles. So I believe it's staying where it is right now on PC and on mobile. So Reindeer, have you played Among Us?
Yeah, I've played my fair share. I don't think I've ever molded a game so hard. I haven't actually played a single lobby of like 10 friends yet. I've played with probably like 5, 6. So I've mostly been playing with like 1 or 2 friends and just going into random lobbies.
Yeah.
I've never hated the general public so much for how stupid they are. I don't know if it's just teaming or
No, I really think
people.
some people are just that stupid. I went into a lobby today, and there's 4 of us left. It's me, purple, cyan, and orange. And it was very clearly cyan and orange. Cyan had been following me around trying to kill me. Purple had seen me do my task, and she goes, I think it's blue. And they all kicked me out, and we lost. And I'm like, purple. And everybody else just like, purple.
You hate to see it.
You really do.
You hate to see it.
Yeah, but yeah, going forward, that's super exciting. Thank you so much, Kira, for announcing that. That's really, really cool.
I am so excited, and I definitely want to get the opportunity to play with all of you guys in that section. I try and play at night. I know I've seen Ziggy on. Do the rest of you guys have it for either mobile or for PC? Because the Discord will support both.
I'm going into a game of Among Us after this podcast, so
Wow.
I have it
I
on my
might just
tablet.
download it
like,
after
I have
this.
plans to play with a few friends after this podcast is done. Shout out to Liana and Joe.
I
To
might
point out
just
what
download it after this and, go into the Oracle Discord like everyone should. No.
Yes, indeed. I think what a fact that Reindeer pointed out as well was that yeah, it's not really fun with about 5 people, but if you get a full 10 with 2 imposters, that's when it's really, really fun. And yeah, there'll be mixed skills and game knowledge, but you can pick up the game pretty quick. So just to let you know, guys, get in there, get that roll, and if you even want to, tonight and all weekend, we'll probably be playing this game. So
And it's free on mobile. You have nothing to lose.
true.
While it's always exciting to add a new game to Among Us, I wanted to take a second to actually talk about our community. I wanted to remind everybody that if you're interested in helping us out, we are always looking for staff. We're looking for Overwatch staff, COD, which we do want to bring. We are looking into, since Modern Warfare is kind of on the end of its life, possibly jumping into Cold War, uh, Minecraft, Rainbow Six Siege, and as well as the events for Among Us. And we need more people coming in with great ideas. And even if you may not have the skills and you just got the willingness to try, we're always taking people in and we will help you guys learn. And speaking of maybe not having so much experience, I found that a lot of our casters came in actually that way. Just kind of want to get their foot in the door and really learn how to do all this. And I know that a lot of you guys, some of you had been doing it for a while, some of you guys are still pretty new to it. Um, and I wanted to take this over, I guess, to Cinnamon Biscuit, because I know you started out on YouTube. I actually checked out your YouTube. You had like 800 followers or something like that, right?
Yeah, it's up there, but it's been kind of stagnant. But it's all good.
Well, I know you told me that you were switching over to Twitch. Uh, and with that, there can be a lot of different things that go into that. Um, and not just on the streaming end of it, but there's a lot that goes into being a caster. And I wonder, for somebody who might be interested in trying that, like, what advice would you give them? Brain fart there.
Yeah, I mean, casting. The way I got into it, I went on a Reddit board looking for like casting gigs and stuff like that, and I ended up joining, a smaller server, and eventually, going through server to server, made my way up to Oracle, and now I'm also casting for bigger leagues as well. Uh, so I mean, really, if I can give any advice, it's just to go for it. Really, like if you have that drive, if you have that urge in you to really like say, hey, I want to try something new, go for it. You have really nothing to lose. It's just as simple as that. Just go for it.
I was gonna say, with most of you guys, you've all had this type of experience. What would you say to somebody, maybe, because I know there's a big difference between going from the PS4 even to the PC. I know, Sam, you still stream on the PS4 yourself, right?
As of now, yes, and then as of November 12th, probably trading my PS4 in for my PS5. Looking forward to streaming on my PS5. Looking forward to seeing the differences between them. Yes, ma'am.
I was like, but for I know Reindeer and I are both in the process of upgrading to a PC, where we'll be having to get an Elgato, which, for those of you who might not know, is a game capture card. It allows you to take the footage from your PS4, PS5, Xbox, Switch, whatever, and as long as it's got an HDMI port, and bring it onto your PC and edit it that way. Um, Arcast, I don't remember if you said, but I know Ziggy said that that's actually how he does his streaming.
Well, I'm getting a PC this Friday, so
Okay, that's what it was. Well,
so
then
gonna
I'll
be pretty good.
take this over to Ziggy. What do you think about
Yeah.
upgrading to the PC for streaming, like even for PlayStation? Um, and what advice would you
Let
give
me
to somebody
tell
who want to do
you
that?
something. Oh my god. The floodgates opened up. It was like. Like, when you get a PC, it opens up so many opportunities for you, for different communities, for streaming potential. I will tell you right now, do not spend your money on a PS5. Look at me. Look at me, dude. Don't do it. Don't do it. Get a GPU. Get a nice, clean GPU. Nice down payment. You're going to want to try and get that right in smooth into a nice PC build. You can do budget with an AMD Ryzen processor. You don't even need to know much about PCs to get involved in it. If you have questions, ask. There's so many communities out there of builders and enthusiasts. It's like the car community, but for electronics, or it's like adult Lego, people call it as well. So it's super popular. PC has changed my life. I'm able to play games, and do everything all in one spot now. Right? I'm able to do everything all in one spot. It was a transition, though. I will say, it it happened super slowly, and you got to understand that what happened with the Elgato capture card is I built this giant PC, and I wasn't really using it that much. I still had all my friends over on PlayStation, so it is a transition. I had to transition completely back over PC, and now I'm fully on PC. You're gonna look at your game libraries when you get a PC. It's gonna be empty. So yeah, you're gonna probably want to get a capture card, start capturing the gameplay from your Switch, from your PlayStation. That'll be the biggest thing. So yeah, hooked up a controller and still rolled. Yeah. Yeah.
Don't worry, we saw it and I was scared.
I actually made her scared. She turned my video off, dude. Just staying on that topic there, though, like, yeah, it's expensive. It is expensive, and if you can't afford it, that's totally understandable. It is a luxury, and I understand that. But again, I cannot stress enough how much opportunities it has opened up for me. If you are, like, casual, probably stick with it. But if you're looking to kind of boost your career, especially in this day and age when most events and jobs and interviews are all done online now, you better invest in this because it's going to be there for your whole life. So I really, really encourage you guys, if you're watching, to start your own build. There's a website called PC Part Picker, which is good. You can use that to just get started. But yeah, in the grand scheme of things, if you want to be a content creator, produce content, be a caster, or you're just playing for fun, PC is the way to go. It'll always have support. They will never end support for PC. I can guarantee you that. So yeah, that's my piece on PC. That's kind of my story as well. And yeah.
I want to add on to that for just a second because Fox also used Part Picker, and I did too, actually. And I want to let you guys know, I do know that a lot of people are concerned about cost, but you don't have to go out there and buy one of those gaming laptops or gaming desktops that are like $3,000. You can do a little bit of
Not me.
research and build it. I actually built mine. It is a budget PC. I got it all shipped to me in pieces for $650. It's got a nice 1660 in there. This thing, I'm streaming on it right now. I mean, it's able to handle this and pretty like medium quality games during live streams, and then ultra to high quality during just gaming. So, you guys can do it for about the price of a PS5, honestly. So if that's something, especially if you do want to cast or stream, I agree with Ziggy there. It is the best way to go.
Yeah, and I'll
And to
actually take
follow
it
up
to
on that,
Reindeer here as well, because Reindeer mentioned that it was the best decision for him.
Yeah, just multitasking, being able to play a wider variety of games, like Among Us. I know it's free on your phone, but like, just for a better, I don't know, like quality of life, I guess. Like, playing games on your phone ain't it for me. So I'd rather just have that option where I can have like I'm looking at 3 different tabs right now, and then there's Discord in the background and stuff. Like, I can just do multiple things. It's just so much nicer. Makes
Do you
life easy.
do you have more than one monitor? Because I don't think anybody brought this up, but with the PS4, you
Um,
only get one, your TV. With PlayStation, you can have more than one.
Not at the moment. I kind of just tab in and out when I need to, but it's on my list of things to do, just to make it even more streamlined.
Wow, you have 3 monitors? That's insane, man. Going on, you dang Chris. Sorry, I was reading the comments.
He's got a battle station.
I've seen
Damn.
someone who had like 6. I'm like, why? Why would you ever need 6?
Three
For all those
monitors,
Reddit
6
mods that
consoles.
reasons.
yeah, 6 consoles.
Reasons.
Well, uh, when it comes to that though, I did want to say, uh, if you guys are interested in being staff, in being a caster, or maybe if you're not sure if you want to be a caster, like I'm pretty sure I can speak for everybody here when I say if you guys want the chance, we will give you the chance. You can come in and try. One of these guys will partner up with you and give you the opportunity to reach out there. And if you find you get in there and you get so nervous you can't do it, at least you tried. So don't feel scared to waste our time or anything like that. We always want to bring in new casters and give you guys these opportunities to learn and get better. And the same goes with our staff. If there's something maybe you want to try and do, if you, I don't know, you want to get into designing pieces, advertisement pieces, something random, but some people do, maybe for college choices or something like that. Like, we will take you guys and give you that experience that you guys need for portfolios, whatever you guys want. So, if you get the chance and you're interested, head over to the staff application section in our Discord and fill one out. It's got all the stuff in there. So, casters, streamers, all that good stuff. But
And to follow up on that, you always go to a pawn shop or just go into different stores. You never know what you're gonna find. I went to a pawn shop the other day and I took care of this just to kill time, waiting on a phone call and waiting on my mom to do something. And they had an Omen from HP gaming desktop for like 500-600 bucks, just sitting there. So you never know what you could find in pawn shops.
yeah, that's pretty true. I actually found a 40-inch TV and I bought it for 75 bucks. I was so hyped and I got it home and it broke.
Damn.
It
I will
happened.
say one thing. Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's actually a good
that-
option too.
That is
What he said.
the best option, in my opinion. People are, wealthy people are getting rid of their, PCs. Oh, it's an i5. Oh, it's 1 generation old now. Better replace it. Dude! Like, you can find really, really good deals. Even if it doesn't work or it has issues, you can part it out and, get new parts. There's a whole market now, right? Cars have been around for a long time now, so yeah, there's a big market for junkyards of cars and stuff. But now, as computers are getting more and more popular, you can see the same kind of trend. There's a lot of people in the PC market building, selling, right? Fixing up, selling. It's super, super, super important to keep your eye on Facebook Marketplace as well for different builds that people might have given up on or don't want anymore. And yeah, that's I will say my girlfriend found her PC for 650 bucks on Marketplace, and it was and we calculated all the parts that were in it. The guy posted all the specs on the ad, on the Facebook ad, and we looked up each part and how much it costs right now, and it cost over $1,000 if I were to build the PC now with brand new parts. But to buy it used, 650 bucks, already completed, fully fledged build with Windows 10 already on it.
Yeah, you
So
couldn't beat that.
you
That's a great deal.
you never know what you're going to find. So keep your eyes out, guys.
We actually are past that hour mark that I had set, so apologies, guys. But I guess that
Sorry.
means it is time to wrap things up.
I think we're on to our last question, though. Don't we have one more question?
Do we?
I know we mentioned it last time. More just like, try to remember what everyone said. More just like not. I think that was one of the downsides of streaming on your PS4 was like
Yeah.
everyone will tell you don't stare at the numbers, but then if you stream on PS4, it just keeps coming up in the top right, and it's like I don't really like that. Just, I swear someone mentioned something about like clicking go live. I can't remember who it was last time, but yeah, just
I think I remember that what you're talking about Ziggy is sometimes, sometimes it gets hard when you're streaming, when you're just like, do I just want to play this game and not, you know, not have to
Yeah.
deal with the stress or the struggles of it. And it is great to have, the chats in there and to get that talk, but sometimes you're just sitting in a quiet by yourself for a while feeling like, how can I be better? And it can be draining.
it definitely helps having like that's where like 90% of my like viewers and stuff come from is just friends. So just like even talking to them doesn't even have to be about the game. Just random stuff is like night and day difference to me just sitting alone in my room playing ranked or something. It's yeah. Like I could get on Overwatch right now and not click go live and just play for hours, or I could go live and just feel, oh no, someone's watching, someone's not. It's getting over that mental hurdle and just either saying screw it or just saying today's not the day, maybe another day, or even just a different game. Like, there's more to it than just, clicking go live and playing Overwatch.
It's a grind, and I will say it's it's a very motivational thing as well, right? Like you need to have motivation. I started streaming on a console, built up a community. I actually got affiliated while I was still streaming off of my PlayStation, which to me was huge. I had regular viewers and I just stopped after a while now. I really struggle to press the go live button, right? And I don't know if people are going to come in, people watch. I don't play Overwatch as much anymore. It's going to be different. Different game, different audience, different preferences. And the thing is, you got to keep in mind is you're not really doing this for anybody specifically, but you are doing it to kind of give yourself a community, right? Build your own community, build the people around it, and have fun along the way. That's the most important part. So when it comes to streaming, it's really really important that your mental health is there, and that you're not kind of stuck. You can't feel stuck, and that's why it's really really
Yeah.
important to play with other streamers, play with other communities. Like we're opening up games like Among Us into the Discord channel, so we'll have more of an opportunity for people to play with us no matter what platform they're on. So
Yeah, I have like a very like similar kind of feeling when it comes to my YouTube. It's just so hard to just find that motivation sometimes to just record something, edit it, and just send it out.
Yeah, a point earlier for like the casting for Oracle. I have had apparently I didn't know this, but I just learned I am the quote unquote longest tenured caster. I think is what Kira said at the beginning.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure because when I actually first started for Oracle, they're like, "Oh, streams, head over to our caster over there," and I'm
Yeah,
like, "Oh, who's that?" Mind you,
yeah.
I
So
hadn't watched
I've
your streams yet, though.
yeah I've been here for a while, and I've seen many people in have one stream. I've been the one they streamed with, and like halfway through they just like they stop, and I'm able to continue finish out the stream. It's like no worries, you did good. It's if you don't want to do it, it's fine. So if you want, you can come in. I'd be more than willing to do a game with you, even if it's like a scrim that's not gonna really be casted, or it's like a mock stream, a practice stream, and like see if it's you're able to do it. If you want to do it on the fly, like in a final, like in a playoffs game, like the one person did, like we can do that if if we can work that out. That's specifically timed for when you want to do it, and that's the next game. So there's no reason not to try it, especially if you think you might be good. There's plenty of us who can, for one, carry a game by ourselves from casting if we need to,
Oh yeah.
and two, be able to work with someone who might not know. Like, okay, you need to in between maps, you need to find a way to fill the audience attention. You can somewhat start slowly learning, but we can, as the experienced ones, take over that experience and like fill in the gaps that you may not know, and then as you go along you'll pick some of the stuff up that are like the more things you'll learn with experience quicker because we've already experienced a lot of it. We already know what a lot of it is, specifically me because I'm the longest. But you can come in like this, just throw your hat or throw your name in the hat. There's what could go wrong. Like if you just say like nah, it's not for me, you can just stay there and like put in small things here and there, and then we can take over and make sure the thing like the stream does go rather well. So there's no reason to get worried that you might just completely take down this like drag down the stream.
And I think I said it before too. And if you do jump in and like you find like your nerves are completely shot and you just can't, these guys they've been doing it for a while now, and they've been there, and they'll cover for you. You know, they'll let you back out, and
Mhm.
it's okay. You can try again next time. So never
I
worry
do
about
wanna
it, man.
I do
That's
wanna
the
throw
exact
something out
point I
here.
just said.
Yes.
I wanna I wanna throw something out here.
Okay.
Arcas is is a really good professional. Done many games with him. 10 out of 10 would recommend watching him slash learning from him. Even just practicing with a scrim with him would definitely recommend duoing with him whenever you get it. Whenever somebody gets a chance.
Thank you for the praise.
Yes, sir. As always.
Praise
I've
Jeeves.
done I've, I've done many games with you, sir. We have done many games together.
That is true. That is true.
Facts.
Well, all right, guys. This definitely has been super informative. I think just going over all the Overwatch stuff, the casting stuff, our new Among Us stuff. If you guys make sure you go and do those roles, that is active now. So if you guys want to go check that out. But yeah, it's great to hear from you guys because it's difficult to get started on your own. And I hope that maybe hearing that you guys and your information, your stories, like that might help people, even if they don't want to necessarily become casters, but become streamers. But we're actually out of time. So,
Alright.
just a couple things. Remind you guys that season 6 is the signups are live. Make sure you guys head over there and sign up your team. Sooner you're signed up, the better. Make sure you secure your spots. I also want to ask you guys, if you get the time, check out all these great streamers. I got all their info down at the bottom. So if you guys want to check out any of them, I got their links up. You know, they got some of them got Twitters, some like Arcaster have Instagram. But yeah, if oh, one other thing, I don't know if some of you know, we have merch. We have masks and t-shirts and all a bunch of cool stuff. It's actually in our Twitch info down at the bottom. It's got a link for our merch there, so if you guys want to check that out on Redbubble. Yes, it's been written.
All the plugs have been put
the
in that chat.
plugs.
Make sure you hit that link.
All the plugs.
Plug there is.
Let me give the streamer spiel. Alright guys, if you're not already, make sure that you follow us here on Twitch. Subscribe if you can. We appreciate it if you do. If you're not already, follow us on Twitter. Join our Discord. Do all the great things. And if you got time, please check out all these great streamers. I hope all of you guys have a good night. I want to give you one last opportunity to say goodbye to everybody. Sam, Arcaster, Reindeer, Biscuit, and Ziggy, say goodbye.
Goodbye.
See you guys.
Alright.
Thanks for
Subscribe
tuning
on
in.
Have a great night, guys.
Fox Stew!
No Fox Stew, god damn it! Oh, you made me
Fox
curse.
Stew.
No fox, no fox, no fox stew.